boy, today I'm actually gonna make a actual review on an episode once. Welcome to episode 5 of High Guardian Spice. Today's episode, since this is May 26th, I'm gonna review A Lost Cause. Is this episode ironically a lost cause? Yes, probably, or probably yes or probably no. It's a yes or a no, but you'll have to wait until the end of the video. So here's the plot of the story. Time makes Sage cry, and Sage runs off to a classroom. And the others try finding her. Four is four at least, say what you want about episode 4. At least it has an actual subplot. This does not. And you guys remember those parasects things from the third episode or fourth? From the third or fourth? Those harmless things that helped Parsley escape from a basement after she had after she survived. And yeah, now they've invaded the school apparently. And it's like, oh no, it's like the fucking bunny hunt episode from SpongeBob at one point. Get it out, get it off. Anyway, from there on out, Ty and Parsley spend the weekend together. Which I can highly guarantee you. And as for the other, Sage gets a Terrasphere. Man, what's it with these subplots in these episodes in the show these days? The Terrasphere is which you don't know. The Terrasphere is the magic item that lets anyone do anything without any flaws whatsoever. Sage ends up not liking it. They spend the episode buying a new one. Wow, can't believe Sage is a little brat in this one. Holy shit. I want 22 seconds of my life back. You think I'm actually laughing at this one? No. Not seen this much. I have not seen a subplot to this episode that's just as bad as like waiting from SpongeBob. But hey, at least I would still rather watch this over Wavelength because keep in mind, zoom in, loud ass sounds. But this is worse than waiting. At least waiting was only like 7 minutes long. And could you imagine that? And could you imagine like this? This episode is literally 22 minutes long. Like there's like one scene in this episode where the characters come across an infinite hallway, and they're all like, "Let's not do that stuff. Let's chicken out and keep playing hide and seek with Sage." It's insane. She could be flying off the map by now. You think there's more to this shit? Yes, there is. Because Parsley, Rosemary, and Snapdragon are writing a book report on some famous mythical acts. Like, what? What acts? In a show about a magical school, like a Harry Potter TV series. They just decide to ignore the magic actually happening and emphasize the school like it's High School Musical like. But High School Musical is actually entertaining compared to this. Sure, finding and using the axe would actually be, even repairing one would be interesting. But nope, they have to write a book report that we don't even get to see in this episode. Damn it! You know, this is actually also funny because we don't even actually see what Rosemary's response to this is. So there's like no place in this part. There are 3 plots in this movie. Only one makes sense. That plot is Time and Parsley staying at the Dwarfian Forge. And Jesus, that's so cliche at this point. In fact, the cliches are over the place. What's that? Parsley wants to be independent and spread her wings, but mommy and daddy want to stay at her home? Oh my god. My god. Dude, this is literally so cliche at this point. It has been done to death. There is nothing new, or there's like no new interesting thing at this point. So Parsley is going to High Guardian Academy. She's learning forging, how to be a blacksmith. Her parents hope she's gotten all out of her system and want her to come back home to work as a blacksmith. Isn't that what Parsley's literally trying to be? I'm going to fucking say this again. Her parents want Sage to stop learning to be a blacksmith so she can come home and work at home as a blacksmith. Like, what is going on? Are these parents dumb or something? You cannot be this stupid, High Guardian Spice. Or the studio who literally wrote this show. Katie McVeigh's screenplay is absolutely atrocious, by the way. Parsley and Time's subplot is like the only one that has an actual sense in reality. When one of Parsley's brothers gets on the roof, which I don't know how he even got there, they gotta save him before he crashes to the ground. And the parents, of course, are irresponsible as shit, and they just want to see their children suffer. Oh, holy hell, I thought Ivan the Incredible had a terrible father, but nope. We gotta have this instead. The kid, I can literally say that brother could easily just miss the bucket as if he fell down, or he hit the wall of the bucket hard enough to get a concussion or cause serious injury or death. And the parents probably wouldn't even give a shit about either. And that's without even mentioning that Parsley was also on the roof herself, so they probably have no position at this point. And could probably easily climb back up there. I shouldn't have to say these things. But I guess I do because Katie McVeigh wrote this. And she absolutely sucks at this. You actually would think that Sage getting a Terra Sphere is actually an interesting thing, but here's the problem. It's not. The techniques in these episodes are getting worse from here on out. Episode 1 and 4 were actually pretty good. To be fair, the first one was pretty mid, honestly. But you might see after episode 1, they might get a little better, but the opposite happened, unfortunately. The animation in episode 3 was actually presentable, yet I considered that the episode. But this is the worst episode. Episode 5 has this awkward, awful tree branch animation, which is disgusting, by the way. And episode 4 introduces us to a dwarf baby. And after seeing Dwarf Baby, you can realize that she's actually the second most annoying character in the show besides Sage, of course. And speaking of which, all the dwarf boys use the same character model. It's like they created clone junkyard robots of each other. If that was their best take, don't think about the takes that you didn't use. And this is the first episode where Time actually has a purpose in this episode, in the show. But her acting, but here's the problem: the acting from her acting is just draining. That I wish she wasn't even in here. Speaking of audio, Sage becomes unlikable in this episode. I'm gonna say that. It's like this is like pretty stupid, honestly. Anyway, I think I've like explained the whole like plot of this show and explained the episode and explained all the problems in this episode. But anyway, this is the worst. I decided to make this the worst episode of High Guardian Spice so far. If any episode tops this, only God knows what I'm gonna do. Anyways, 1 out of 10 or an F-. This is a pretty lost cause. No pun intended. Alright. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.